You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism. And what is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation. Well, isn't this the liberal philosophy? The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
Hey folks, Manny C.A. here with another, hey, how many times can I load that Hull video? I know you guys walking through your local big box warehouse, perusing around, looking at all the ammo going, man, I love to buy some of this stuff, but is it really worth it? Will I be able to reload it a couple times, my hulls? Because that's what it's all about. It's about value. And it's about loading a superior product than what you can buy. Now, it's getting harder and harder to do since the ammunition manufacturers are catching up with everything. But you can still load a superior product. This time, we're doing, bam, Winchester Super X. I know this is an older box, but I know they're still on the market. And they got the same hull design. Super X came out, this box is probably about 10 years old. But we're gonna go through and load it up. You can see the price tag still on there. Interesting. 12 gauge, 2 3/4, 1 ounce of 7.5 inch goodness. And if I gotta open the box, I'll show you. I think these are the ones that started with the nickel plating. I think they're ugly, but what do you want? There we go. Nickel plating on the hull, on the base. The big X on there for Super X. I don't know what the X stands for, maybe X on the target, I don't know. But these shotgun holes, how many times can you reload them? They're kind of reminiscent of universal holes, I want to say, but for all we know, they might just be universal holes. But they're universal, well actually they're Super X they're called, so how many times can you load them? That's what we're here to find out. If you guys stick around, we're gonna load them up, hopefully. And again, Winchester, so American-made hull with a tapered hull design. Less powder capacity. You gotta choose your wads accordingly. And no, not that type of wad. You guys get your mind out of the gutters, please. These wads. Yeah. For Winchester, we don't use these figure eights from Claybusters because they're not the correct wad. We use these guys. Booyah! These are the Claybusters, the Winchester clones. Again, Winchester makes the wads and they're a great wad. But if you don't want to spend the extra cash on it, these guys are a great alternative. Join me as we find out the magical world of loading. See how many we'll load up today. And for you poor unfortunates who have not been watching any of our loading, our hull reloading tip videos, or what we do is we take 2 of these and we shoot them until they give up the ghost and you can't load them no more, or the primer pockets give out, which is what's usually happening now. And I know they make a resizing tool for this, so you gotta look around, but I don't even think it's worth the cost, especially with shells being as cheap as they are today. We load up 24 grains of universal clays with 1 ounce a shot. Never mind the 1 1/8. We do 1 ounce a shot. Reclaim shot. Number 7.5 and 8. And again, we're using our trusty Winchester 1400. We could sing our poor Winchester praises, but we're not. So we're just going to shoot the gun as long as this thing holds up. And this gun's a 20-year-old gun. What does that tell you? As an aside, when we unbox these, and don't get me started on any of those unboxing videos you see on YouTube, ridiculous. Anyway, when we unbox these, for some reason the nickel was sticky. And they still have some of that reminiscent of that stickiness on it. You can see how this one got, here, see how this one kind of got dusty and dirty? Interesting, huh? I wonder if that's like some kind of primer sealant they put in there and it leaked out. I don't know. And I misspoke. These are not 1 1/8. These are 1 ounce. So we're right on the money. And I've got to say, we've got very pretty crimps. Look at that. If you can use the word pretty when it comes to hand loading, I do. I gotta say, I know it's only the second time, but the primer crimps are tight in this one. Much like your high school girlfriend. Reload number 2. And they're crimping very nice. Very, very nice. This is load number 4. And I'm getting, you can see right here, let's see if we get this on, a little bit of mushrooming right here. Huh, that's very interesting, isn't it? Usually that's indicative of not enough shot, but I'm getting it on both of them and they're chambering just a little bit rough. Let's see if we put a little more shot in the next one and see what happens. Yeah, that's weird. Even with a little bit more shot in there, they're still kind of doing a little bit of the mushroom thing here. But primer pockets are still tight. Shot number 5. That was shot number 5, number 6. And they're still tight. Shot number 6. And you can see we're starting to get little fibers, just like we saw, remember that? On the universal shells. You can see them really light, real gentle to begin with here. So that's very interesting. And still, we're getting some really good crimps. And that sticky case head, you can see it's getting attracting some dirt and dust, which is very odd. Yeah, we had a failure to feed. Interesting. I'm thinking it's that, yeah, it's the case mouth. You see that? How it's starting to get? The hull mouth is starting to get kind of mushroomed out. I could push it in the chamber, but other than that, it was funny, after that 6th shot, the primer pockets have just opened up. Look at that. You could push them in by hand. Interesting. It's like these nickel ones, these low, cheap nickel. When they go from one shot to another. It's not like a gradual progression. They were loading fine on the last one. This is the 6th one. This is number 7 actually. After the 6th, primer pockets loosened up. So, how many times can you reload your Winchester Super X game loads, which may or may not be universal clones? I'd say 6. Don't go more than 6. Heck, if you get 5, even better. That's good value. You guys have any questions, comments, concerns? Send them on down. Till next time.